It's Naya from NWC Counseling, and I'm actually filming from my home today because Hurricane Florence is doing the absolute most. And when I say absolute, I mean absolute. She's very dramatic. So I have been home all week having to take my transitional clients and doing video chats instead of face to face and trying to adjust as much as possible. And I feel like Hurricane Florence still doesn't know what she wants to do. So I am here, and I hope those of you that are in the Carolinas and other areas that are being affected are staying safe and staying inside. And when all this rain starts to come, but it has been like literally nothing but beautiful days here. And like all of my family and friends have been super concerned, like, well, what's going on? Are you guys okay? And I'm like, it's very sunny and nice right now. I will let you guys know when it gets bad. But outside of that, guys, how's your week been? Has it been really good? Have you guys been okay? I will tell you honestly, I have been kind of up and down with the weather, and then also just watching Power and having so many questions. The amount of therapy that's needed for all the characters on Power, it would be enough for me to quit all of this and just work with them exclusively for many years because they're all pretty messed up. And by messed up, I really want to say another curse word, but I'm trying to walk in my Christian life today. All right, guys. So as you guys know, I have a course that will be launching in October. It's currently in a testing process now, and it is called the Wifey Material. And it's basically a course that I'm really kind of leading up with our series now, helping women who are married or maybe not married to understand what are some of the roles and responsibilities of being a wife. And so this month, as we do every month, as you guys know, me being a therapist, I like to report back to you guys what I'm seeing, what's happening out in the world in regards to the issues that are usually brought to my room and what are some of the themes. And this month, we're just talking about being a wife and what that entails. And I feel like this information is so helpful and so healthy because I think it's super important for people to know what to expect when you get in a marriage and what you can expect, as far as maybe your partner's expectations or even social media, what they say about it, culturally, what they say about it. And so I'm taking the most important pieces and I'm providing them to you guys every week for this month. And we're just going to be talking about just a lot of different things. So last week, if you guys remember, we talked about some of the introduction and we talked about, like not losing ourselves as women and as a wife and not getting lost in that role. This week, we're going to be talking about our man's top need and how to speak his love language. So I really want you guys to be able to follow along with this information because this is all about how do we speak our man's love language? Like, what does that entail? And so something I want you guys to know is that first and foremost, one of the first things I talk about in my course is the second part of the course talks about how to interact with our husbands. So we start going over things like, how do we respond to his needs? What are a man's needs? We go through those levels. We talk about how we as women, as wives, can respond to those needs, what our role can be sometimes. And one of the biggest things that I see that I like to talk with a lot of couples in my office about is honor. A man's top need is honor. No, this is not something I'm making up. This is actually really good information that is scripturally based, but also a lot of it I have gathered from a lot of resources, mainly focusing on Jimmy Evans, Marriage Today. He really broke this thing down. And so I love that model that he uses. And so in my course, we talk about the top need of a man being honor. And what that means is that your husband or your partner, your boyfriend, your boo thing, your situationship, whatever it is, he needs honor. Honor is very important to a man. And let me tell you what some of that can come across as. That's like respecting him, that's giving him esteem, that's ensuring that you hold him in high regard. So if you respect and love someone, you will talk highly of them. You will speak of them in positive ways, especially around people that don't know you. You will try to uplift him. You affirm him. A lot of different things. These are the areas of honor that we can do for our husbands. The second thing is that sometimes we are able to show with our husbands that we honor him in love language too. So by using your husband's love language, that's another way that you can show him honor. And one of the ways we can support our husband is one, being understanding and education and educating yourself about what the 5 love languages are. This is from Gary Chapman's book, by the way, where I'm basing this information. But the 5 love languages are basically a language of art, how we speak to our partner in regards to how we like to receive love and how someone else is receptive to love. So you have your own love language and your partner has their own love language. But something really interesting about this is that sometimes our husbands, our partner, our man, their love language is different than ours. And so we have to be aware of that. And if you know about the 5 love languages, I'm going to give you guys really quickly what they are. So you or your husband can either have words of affirmation, you guys can have touch, physical touch, you guys can have quality time, you guys can have acts of service, and then gifts, like receiving gifts. And so these are the 5 main general areas of love language. Now you can have a little bit of one, you can have some of a little bit of each, you can have 2 that are tied, but primarily there's one specific one that really holds true to your heart. And I don't care what no one says. I believe that usually like one trumps all the other ones. It might be a close tie or a close race, but one will usually trump. Same thing with your partner. A little trick that I learned that I have, that I also share in my course and that I want to share with you guys now is if you're not sure what your husband's or your partner, your boo thing, their love languages, what you can do is ask a specific question. And the question that you can ask them is, how do you know I love you? And I love this question, right? Because one, I have tested this with adults and with children. I got this question from Gary Chapman in his book, The 5 Love Languages for Children, but I find that it works really, really well when you use it with adults. And just to show you guys that it works well, I'm actually going to call my husband right now, and I'm going to ask him the question because I want to show you guys how it works. And hopefully he will not say something really off the wall. So just give me 1 second. And I'm going to call on speaker so you guys can hear this, okay? Real life. It's ringing. You can hear it. Really doing it.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I am just calling you. I have to ask you a question really quick for a research purpose.
Oh,
Okay, so the question is, how do you know I love you?
how do I know you love me?
Yeah.
I mean, just show it through. I mean, you tell me, you show me through physical contact, you're taking care of me and the house, and just your actions.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, so let me be clear about this, guys. So you just heard me ask my husband that very simple question, and although he gave some different answers that could be maybe reflected in different ways, let me tell you what I heard. When he said, you show me with physical touch and affection, I know, because one, I know my husband's love language already, but his love language is physical touch. So if you notice, that is how he said, when I say, how do you know I love you? He goes to the first thing that he thinks of as far as his own love language. So when you ask your partner that tonight or tomorrow night or whenever you decide to ask, or when you get a partner or when you solidify that situationship and you ask the question, how do you know I love you? And listen for their response. Don't give them any prompting. Don't make them try to say something. Just literally be quiet and let them say something. And whatever they say will usually help you identify much quicker as far as what they consider love to be. So it's just so interesting because sometimes you're like, well, I love you because I tell you every day, but your partner's love language might not be words of affirmation. So it's really, really a good thing in honoring our husbands that we figure out what your husband actually considers to be his love language and that we're using it with them. That's a great way to show them honor. So guys, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was as brief as I could make it. As you guys know, for the rest of the month, we're going to be talking about being a wife and these type of issues. I think next week we're talking about the atmosphere in our home and how as the wife we set the tone. And so I'm going to be bringing that up with you guys. If you're interested in learning more about the e-course that I'm launching in October, which by the way is going to be off the chain, I'm very excited, getting a lot of positive feedback now from some of the people that are taking it. And really, it's going to be a live course. So what it will start off with is you are going to be taking the course, but then at the same time, I'm going to be having live instruction with you. I'm going to be talking with you each week and having group discussions. And it's only going to last for about 4 weeks. So it's not going to take up a lot of your time, but it's going to be jam-packed with great content about being a wife and learning how to secure your marriage and learning about all the things that you can do as a wife in order to solidify that part. And so I really am looking forward to this. And if you want more information about it, I'm going to be posting the link below. You can click on it and you can sign up to get all the updated information or be the first to know as soon as we release the launch date and that process for that. So I'm looking forward to working with you. That also includes one-on-one coaching. So if you've never done counseling before and you've been interested in it, or couples counseling, but your partner doesn't want to go, that one-on-one coaching might be very, very important. It might be very vital and crucial to you learning about yourself as a wife and working on your marriage. So I'll put that link below, and I look forward to, well, one, I want to know if you guys ask the question, tell me below, what did your partner say? Just so that I can know. Asking for a friend, just being nosy. All right, so you guys stay safe out there, and I will see you guys next week, okay?